Well, so we've caught up a bit on what's been happening in our family, but perhaps just to talk a bit and think a bit about what's been happening in the life of the church. You think, well, surely nothing has been happening in the life of the church, Gary. We aren't able to meet on a Sunday. We haven't been able to meet for coffee fellowship and various things like that. So, what can be happening in the life of the church? Well, things go on behind the scenes, as some of you may realize. Things like our prayer chain continue to operate. Meetings are continuing to take place, and these are happening via Zoom. Some of you may be or have become familiar with Zoom, and certainly I know some have been checking in on either our Wednesday or Thursday morning coffee fellowships, or perhaps even more so on a Sunday morning after Sunday morning service, whether you have watched the district service on television, on your laptop or iPad, or you've watched the BBC service on television, or you've kind of logged into another service from whatever venue. We have been able to get together for coffee fellowship at 11:30 on a Sunday morning, where we just say hi to each other, talk about this, that, and the other, and of course the weather, and basically catch up and say hi to each other. So those are some of the fellowship events that have been happening in the life of the church. Just this past week, I started a Zoom Bible study where we are studying the book of Ruth. This will be over 4 Thursday morning sessions, just an hour session on a Thursday morning, through the month of June. And Ruth is the Bible book for the month of June, and hence the study of the book of Ruth. And there are one or two other Bible studies. I know one in particular that is happening via Zoom. We've been having meetings as our church leadership team, also via Zoom. We've been meeting on a fortnightly basis mostly, as we review progress with lockdown, what the latest developments are, what the implications of them may be for the life of the church, and certainly looking forward to the time when lockdown is lifted and when we can meet again as a church community. So these are some of the things that are happening in the local church. Of course, then, there are the emails that go around on development ideas, on things that have to take place and be taken care of in the life of the church. The resources people continue to engage and manage our finances, to look at property requirements, repairs that may be up and coming. And so some things do still require our attention. We also have been meeting on a circuit level. Our circuit staff continue to meet at least on a monthly basis as we talk church and talk things of the Methodist Church and fulfill requirements there, such as ministers submitting to supervision that has been newly implemented in our district. We've had circuit leadership team meetings as well, and at the moment our circuit stationing committee has just been constituted and has just got underway in its work, as we are looking at the situations at St Andrews and Evesham, where come August 2021, Helen Kane and Israel Salvanyanagam were due to end their term. So those aspects of ministerial appointment are under review at this stage, and as I say, that is the work of the Circuit Station Committee, and that is something that is, as I say, happening at the moment. The Methodist Conference was cancelled, of course, under lockdown, not possible to meet, and that conference will also happen online, if not by means of the Zoom online app. So times are different, times have changed, But certain things in the life of the church continue. We continue to be people of faith. We continue to seek God's way in our lives. We continue to feed ourselves devotionally in whatever way suits us, in the privacy of our own homes and the quietness of our own spaces, as we sustain our own individual relationships with God. As I say, here and there we have the privilege of joining in fellowship with one another, and there we may sense some kind of rapport. Having said that, and have not mentioned earlier, we are so grateful to the work of our pastoral visitors, how they are phoning the folk under their care on a regular basis, just to keep tabs with them, to keep in touch, to remind folk that they are remembered, though not seen, they are not forgotten. And so we are so grateful to the work of our pastoral visitors overseen by Maureen, as they keep that regular contact, which enables us as leadership of the church to be alerted to any acute needs in the life of our church community. And so, yes, just briefly to say too, we've begun to look at how we may be church after lockdown, and there are some indications that there may be a lifting of lockdown for churches, to whatever degree that may be, come early July. And so as churches, we are beginning to think towards that. We're beginning to consider what parameters will have to be in place to allow us to meet safely, maintaining social distancing when we do gather together as church. And so, for example, we are aware that when we are able to meet again, we will most definitely have to meet in smaller numbers due to social distancing requirements. And that's probably going to mean that we need to have more than the usual number of services that we offer. That might not be that we offer 6 or 7 services on a Sunday. It might be that we offer a service on each day of the week, and perhaps 2 or 3 on a Sunday, and ask our worshipping community to select a service that may suit them, and to try and avoid the Sunday service as far as possible, and to allow perhaps the Sunday service to be for those who don't work during the week and can make a weekday service. So these are things that we're beginning to consider as the leadership of the church. And obviously, as we get closer to potential lifting of lockdown, as we grapple with these issues more and more, we will come to a clearer sense of just what menu of worship we will offer when we come out of lockdown, as a means of best providing an opportunity of worship to as many of our people as possible, albeit that we will be separated into worshipping communities of maybe 20 or 30 people. And it might be interesting, we might have to have us booking to go to church so that we have some means of control over numbers. So let's wait and see. Let's not put the cart before the horse. But certainly it will not be the old normal. It will be a new normal as we move forward as a church community. We can't wait for that, but we will certainly keep our folk posted as we move in that direction.